There's been a lot of stealing that has been happening in South Africa, and I think it has come to light now. And we may think it's it's what has been happening recently. It probably has been there for a minute. Now, we know about Tembisa Hospital, 2 billion. Tembisa Hospital got like 800 beds. It's a small hospital. How many buildings at Baragwana Hospital, the hospitals in Cape Town, Telemokhorane in Foslo, in Katlehong, there's a hospital, Natalspruit, that even closed down. How many billions in those other hospitals? So this thing Mkhwanazi exposes the tip of Babita Diokaran, tip of the iceberg.
Boom. My people at Podcast and Chill hit the nail right on the head, dipped it in gold and then used it to build a secret mansion with government-classified bricks. If you think the Tembisa Hospital scandal, that 2 billion rands for a 800-bed hospital, is shocking. Oh, my friend, you have to take a seat, maybe get some popcorn. Welcome back to In a Nutshell, where we break down the messy, the complicated, and the downright ridiculous. Today, we're diving deep into that tip of the iceberg comment. Because, spoiler alert, Tembisa isn't the tip of the iceberg. It's just the snowball that rolled off the top and hit us in the face. The real iceberg is so massive, it would make the one that sank the Titanic look like an ice cube in your Oros. Let's get into it. A giant iceberg. The tip is labeled Tembisa Hospital 2.1 BN rands. The part just below the water is labeled Other Health Scandals. It gets bigger and bigger as it goes down.
And you're right, so because I remember growing up, there was a Tony Yengeni. Remember Tony Yengeni?
Remember the arms deal?
Yeah,
Yes,
it's always
arms
been
deal.
happening.
Like there's been this Tembisa thing, hospital is a small pocket of billions that have been stolen. So we always like to say everything happens in the dark, comes out in the light. Oh man, there's been super corrupt people who are dead, who would never even heard about, who served us as public figures.
Sol Penduka in the clip mentioned the arms deal and Tony Yengeni. Are the classics, the OGs of post-94 scandal. That was our tutorial level in national corruption. But the game has gotten a lot more advanced since then. So let's leave Tembisa for a second and take a tour of Scandalville, South Africa. Population, us, looking on in despair. Tembisa is not an isolated incident. It's a symptom of a pandemic. A corruption pandemic that's more widespread than the latest TikTok dance. The Great Esidimeni tragedy. This wasn't just about corruption, it was about pure evil negligence. But like someone said, let's follow as and follow the money. Over 140 mental health patients died after being moved from the reputable Life Esidimeni facility to unlicensed NGOs. Why? To save costs. The question is, save costs for whom? And where did those savings actually go? This was a catastrophic failure, where financial decisions literally cost lives. The digital health record sinkhole, remember this one? The project to get a single digital health record system for the country. Budget? Over 1 billion. Result? A spectacular failure. The system didn't work, and the money vanished into the digital abyss. Poof. A news report snippet about the Esidimeni tragedy or digital health record failure. So when we hear about Tembisa's 2 billion, we can't act surprised. The system has been bleeding for years. Tembisa is just the place where the bandage fell off and we saw the gaping, infected wound. If you want a metaphor for how corruption derails a country, look no further than our passenger rail agency, Prasa. This story has everything. The tall trains. I'm not making this up. We bought trains that were too tall for our railway lines. Who signed off on this? Who approved the purchase of these absolute units? It's like buying a giraffe to live in a low-ceiling apartment, a complete waste of billions because someone somewhere didn't do their job, or more likely, was too busy counting their kickbacks. The ghost employees. At one point, Prasa had over 3,000 ghost employees on its payroll. People who didn't exist but were getting paid every month. That's not a payroll system. That's a national-scale money laundering scheme disguised as a salary bill. This is the unreported stuff our podcast friend was talking about. The sheer incompetence and theft that never makes a headline because it's not as sexy as a 0.2 billion rands hospital. It's the death by 1,000 cuts, or in this case, 1,000 ghost employees. Nothing says we care about the future, like stealing from children.
As public figures.
Can I tell you what my dad
or
told
public
me?
officers.
With the apartheid government, they were also stealing there.
Yeah. Yes, all of them.
Yeah.
That has never come out in the light. We know about
we
it.
grew up in Pietermaritzburg, right? And my dad told me was that the way they were stealing, they had to change. If you go into the city center, this has been, my dad telling me this like probably 10 years ago. And there's a certain brick that had to be used and changed, building your government buildings because of people were stealing even bricks, that time. So you obviously get caught if you are building your house with the same brick.
With the government
Classified
classified brick.
So I'm just saying that corruption has been happening even way back, apartheid governments. That's why I say I totally agree. It's nothing new, but obviously there's a time where because things have gotten so bad, it will end up being exposed.
Not everything, though.
Yeah.
Not everything.
Yeah.
CR 17 statements are sealed.
But anyway, I'm just talking.
See, not everything really gets exposed.
With this one, I'm talking about here. Remember that these men are married, right? Like, let's go back to the story. We're talking about now side chicks and men who are living lavishly. These are married men who portray this certain life, and then kanti they are busy with other women. So I'm just saying is that eventually, because of you are living another life on the side, you'll eventually be like exposed. That's what I'm trying to say here.
Not all the time, is what I'm saying.
Not all the time.
How many times have you heard a nigga took it to the grave and then the siblings are meeting at the funeral?
But that's what I'm saying.
That
It
means
will
you
be
got away with
exposed. You got away, but
You're not exposed when you
leaves
did.
a
You're not
mess.
exposed.
It leaves a mess with your family now who are left behind, whether there's a baby or there's something, and then it's like how we thought that we were getting this money, now we have to separate it or divide it amongst 20 people when we thought we were just your kids and your wife. You understand? You still become exposed.
The asbestos saga in the Free State, you remember it, is a masterclass in audacity. That was a 255 million rand contract that was awarded to remove asbestos from houses. The problem? The work was never done. The companies that got the contract had no experience in asbestos removal. It was a complete fraud. They saw a health hazard and thought, ka-ching, that's not just corruption, that's sociopathic. And think about all the school nutrition programs that get hijacked, the tenders for textbooks that never arrive, the building of schools that collapse in the first wind. This is the theft that steals futures. It's the most expensive kind. Now let's get to the real juicy stuff. The stuff the podcast guy's dad was talking about with the bricks. This is the folklore of corruption. The classified bricks. This anecdote is gold. It proves that corruption isn't new, it just got a software update. During apartheid, officials were so brazen, they were stealing the actual physical bricks meant for government buildings. They had to change the brick type so you couldn't get caught building your lapo with state-owned property. That's next-level petty theft. The Tenderpreneur's Playbook. Think about all the small-town mayors who suddenly own a fleet of German cars. The municipal managers who award a tender for cleaning streets to their cousin's company, which charges 10 times the price and uses a single broom. The disappearing municipal funds meant for fixing potholes that are now so big they have their own postcode. This is the daily grinding corruption that doesn't make national news, but makes our lives a living hell. The podcast crew debated this. One says yes, one says not always, and he's right. The CR17 statements are sealed, pala issues, and many more secrets just go to the grave. But here's the twist. Even when it's not exposed in a court of law, it's exposed in our collapsing infrastructure, in our failing hospitals, in our children's lack of opportunities. The evidence is all around us. We are living in the crime scene. The lavish lives of the connected, the married men with side chicks, the politicians with 5 houses. Their secret is out. It's out every time we drive on a broken road, every time we wait 8 hours in a clinic, every time a young graduate can't find a job. So do you agree Tembisa, the tip of the iceberg? Absolutely not. It's just the latest warning flare shot over a sinking ship. The real question is, when are we, the passengers, going to finally demand a new captain and a new course? What do you think? What's the most audacious case of corruption you've heard of? Drop your stories in the comments below. The crazier, the better. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss our next breakdown of the wonderfully messy world we live in. Stay woke, folks. Peace, I'm out.